Section of the men's 5,000 meters here at Iowa State. Let's go through the names. You see them up on your screen. In this race will be 21 gentlemen here looking to go under the 13:37 mark that was set last year, but a lot of them are looking to hit an NCAA qualifying mark. If you're around 13:40, you're probably going to make it to the NCAA meet. So here are the names. Ernest Cabet, a junior out of Louisville. John Mascari, a junior, Indiana State. Ian Barnett, a junior out of Illinois. Kevin Lewis, a senior out of Iowa. Sean Thompson, a senior out of Duke. Janice Topfer, a senior out of Illinois. Maverick Darling, a professional runner with Saucony. Mark Scott, a sophomore from Tulsa. Mark Parrish, a senior out of Florida. Michael Clevenger, a sophomore out of Notre Dame. Matt McClintock, a junior out of Purdue. Edwin Cavici, a sophomore out of Louisville. Thomas Curtin, a junior out of Virginia Tech. Matt Cleaver, who's with Adidas Rogue. Reed Connor, former Wisconsin All-American running unattached. Jordan Mann, a senior out of Brown. Lex Williams, who runs with Brooks. Jacob Morgan, a junior with Kansas. Jimmy Clark, a junior from Florida. Thomas Madden, a sophomore from Virginia. And James Likos with Boston Athletic Association.
That's right.
We'll round out your field.
That's right. We've had 9 guys dip under that 14-minute mark. Edwin Cavici in this field, he's one of them. He ran 13:53 back in December, but to be safe, you want to be as close to 13:45, I would say.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the time that you're looking to hit here. So these gentlemen, watch out for the couple pros here. Will be HIP 15. You've got Reed Connor, and joining him will be the Saucony athlete. So this is the men's fast heat of 5,000 meters, and they're going to back them up in just a moment.
Looks like someone got a little too eager. May have had a little bit of a slip.
So we should have a pacemaker here, and it should be Zach Mayhew.
He's going to be on the outside, black and red jersey.
Here we go. Men's fast heat of the 5,000 meters. Ernest Cabet, John Mascari, Ian Barnett, Kevin Lewis, Sean Thompson, Janice Topfer, Maverick Darling, Mark Scott, Mark Parrish, Michael Clevenger, Matt McClintock, Edwin Cavici, Thomas Kirk, Matt Cleaver, Reed Connor, Jordan Mann, Lex Williams, Jacob Morgan, Jimmy Clark, Thomas Madden, and James Likos. That is your 21-man field, plus a pacer makes 22. And there you see in the black and red, that is Zach Mayhew making his way to the front to set the tempo early for this one.
That's right. And in that bright Brooks jersey right behind him, that is Lex Williams. He was the pacer last weekend at the Mayo Invite for the 3,000 meters. So he's got his hip number on, but he's done a lot of pace work. He's a grad assistant at Illinois State University, former Michigan Wolverine back in the day. Been known to run a pretty fast 5K, I believe, or 10K back in the day at the Stanford Invite. But Edwin Cavici is that Louisville runner in 3rd place right now, right behind him. Talked to him before the race. He said he wants to run in the 13:30s.
And they were fast through the first 400 meters, around 64 seconds. So it's quick from the gun. That's a little bit too quick. I think they were shooting for something around 66s for the early tempo. So the pacer taking it out a little bit quick so far. Let's see if we can get them calmed down here. They're through 500 there in 120.
That's right. You see Reed Connor in that baby blue jersey moving up. Maverick Darling in the Saucony kit right behind him. They're former Wisconsin Badger teammates. Won a national title together, handful of Big Ten titles. Look out for them in this race.
And I saw their former Badger coach, Mick Byrne. He's walking around somewhere. The legendary coach, which has produced so many excellent athletes over the years, and still has a couple of them here running as professionals, trying to make their way in the pro world after running so well back in their collegiate days in Madison.
That's right. It'll be interesting to see how Maverick Darling does. He was a pacemaker in this race last year for Reed Connor when Reed, was still at Wisconsin. But Mav coming off of altitude, training with Nick Willis and Will Lear in the very nice track club now, Ron Warhurst, in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So this is probably one of his first races back from altitude.
And they've calmed the pace down and starting to hit their mark a little bit better now. They were at 2:10 through 800 meters. So the tempo has settled down, getting onto that pace that they're looking to run for the whole race here. So looks good so far with Mayhew there in the New Balance kit, continuing to lead, continuing to set the tempo early on.
But you can see in the blue jersey, that blonde hair, John Mascari of Indiana State. We're big fans of Mascari here at Flow Track. He was eighth at the NCAA championships in cross country, known as Terre Haute's hometown hero. And he's shooting for a big PR.
He said back in the fall that he wanted top 10, and he delivered on that promise. A lot of people thought that was maybe an overreach, so that he wouldn't jump from finishing in the 30s all the way to top 10, but he finished 8th, and now he's looking to kind of make a name for himself on the track. So this will be their 1,200 meter split as they come around here. A little bit odd dimensions, over 300 meters, but this will be their 1,200 meter split, and they're going to hit that right around 3:17 on the clock.
You can see with that hip number 9 from Florida, that's Mark Parrish. He's got the fastest personal best out of all these collegiates in the field. Somewhere in the 1340s ran last year, so he's definitely one to watch in this race.
So Mayhew continuing to pace them. They're now through 1,300 meters. So one more lap and they'll be at the mile of this 5,000 meters. Oh, we had a little bit of a stumble there, but it looks like that was Mark Parrish, but he's recovered just fine.
Moving up from Tulsa, that is Mark Scott. He ran an excellent 3K a couple weeks ago at the Razorback Invite, I believe 7:55. So keep an eye out for him as he moves up throughout the pack. Zach Mayhew and Lex Williams.
All right.
Working together. John Mascari, right there.
So they are heading to the mile just at this moment. Looks like they'll be somewhere around 4:25 at that mile. So really right on pace. Excellent work so far out of Mayhew, excuse me. So about 4:25 on the clock through the first mile. And it's still Mayhew, Lex Williams, yes, and then Mascari, or Reed Connor, Mascari, Capici, and then back you see Maverick Darling, and then followed there by
Thomas Curtin.
There you
Virginia
go.
Tech. He's got a sparkly headband on.
He does have a nice headband, I'll give him that.
Have to find out what the significance of that is.
You just gotta have some swag out here on the track, even if you gotta drop the pink sparkly head thing, no worries. Anyways, coming through here, this will be the 1,800 meter split, so some odd splits here, but they're through 5 laps of this track. This is a 16 3/4 race, or lap race of this track. It's continuing to be Mayhew, followed by Williams, and then Connor. You see Mascari in the blue, and then Capici, all the way back then to Maverick Darling. So everyone's still in this one.
All the names we kind of brought up before this race, they're all in that front pack.
There's our 2,000 meter split. 5:32 through 2,000 meters.
Zach Mayhew doing a great job pacing this crowd. Lex Williams right behind him.
Whew, this one's fast. See some athletes already starting to fall off a little bit. This one's quick from the beginning. Looks like Maverick Darling's really, trying to be conservative. He'll probably make a move. I would say he's probably the favorite for me. A professional. He's run well on the roads throughout the fall. He's been training, like you said, in Flagstaff with some of the best milers in the world, even with Will Lear and Nick Willis. So he is certainly someone to watch out for. Biding his time, staying patient right now. This is at 2,300 meters.
So Reed Connor, he looks extremely calm in that light blue jersey in 3rd place right now. Kind of biding his time. He's been here before. He ran the fastest time in the NCAA regular season at this meet last year.
Did run 13:37 here last year, so he would not be above, or he would not. There's a good chance that he runs below that time this year. Now as a professional.
Great, and he's passing Mayhew.
Taking the lead now, passing Mayhew. So it looks like maybe Mayhew's time to step off the track, as Connor has assumed the lead. So yeah, looks like he really likes this track. Reed Connor is smooth on this track. He looks like he's trying to separate, see if he can get his old teammate Maverick Darling to go with him. It looks like Darling's trying to do just that.
That's right. We'll see who responds the best to this quick change of pace.
Right. Yeah, Darling.
Reed Connor, Maverick Darling.
Connor appears to be in excellent form at the moment. Running all out in front by himself, looking smooth.
So Thomas Curtin of Virginia Tech, right there behind Lex Williams. He's the first collegiate in the field so far.
So they will round around here. This is their 10th lap. So they have about 150 meters, and they will hit the 3,000 meter split. Darling now assuming the lead. Looks like they had a plan going in. Darling and Connor kind of assumed the lead. And that's exactly what they've done with Williams and Curtin still in it. Still a number of collegiates behind them. Curtin's been the most impressive so far in that pink headband. But here we go. Here's a 3,000 meter split around 8:16 on the clock.
And Curtin's ran 7:56 for 3K this season. His
So-
best 5K is 13:58. He will more than likely go under that mark.
Looks
today.
like he should go under that. He looks really strong so far.
But Mark Parrish of Florida trying to make his way up. He's got that number 9 right there.
So it looks like the plan was for Connor to assume the lead and then for Darling to come help him out. And that's exactly what they've done. They will have 6 laps left to run here. 6 laps to go. And that's the 2-mile split at around 8:50. So they're still on that 4:25 pace. 8:50 for 2 miles.
And this continues to be Reed Connor.
Yeah, Connor really, really looking strong in this race. But I wouldn't count out Maverick Darling either. You know, he's jumping up to the front. This is a paced effort. They're just trying to get a good qualifying time, run well, probably prepare for their outdoor seasons, where they're really starting wanting to do damage out on the track, or just get a good effort in. You know, it's always good to run fast, regardless of what it's for.
Mark Parrish of Florida, 13:43 last year, an NCAA qualifier indoors.
I don't think Parrish had cross-country eligibility, so we don't think we saw him in the fall.
We didn't
But
see
he's
him in the
not.
fall.
He's a guy that shouldn't be overlooked. He's definitely an outstanding 5,000 meter runner for the Florida Gators. So 5 laps left to run of the track.
Thomas Curtin, Mark Parrish. Who is going to be the top collegiate in this field?
Yeah, Curtin looks excellent. And I will say Mark Scott and Mark Parrish also look just as good. You see Parrish there in the hip 9, followed by Mark Scott in 8. But there's Curtin, the Virginia Tech kid, in 13. So they're going to come down through here. They will have 4 laps left of the 300 meter track left to run, 1,200 meters left to go.
So someone else who's in that front pack is Kevin Lewis of Iowa. He's right behind Maverick Darling. He's got a 14:02 PB, 7:57 so far this season. So someone who, you know, we've never really talked about, but he ran 7:57 at the UW Invitational just last week.
Yeah, it looks.
2 weeks ago. So
I've not talked a lot about him, but yeah, it looks good. And as we talked about that, Lex Williams with the Brooks kid has assumed the lead, hip 17.
it will be interesting to see how long Lex Williams stays in this race, because he's just been known for his pacing duties in recent weeks. But he's got a number on. We'll see what happens.
So they're going to have 3 laps left to run. 3 laps for Lex Williams, for Reed Connor, and back to Mark Parrish and Curtin. Darling's starting to drop off a little bit. Let's see if he's going to make a move quickly up to the front. But right now it continues to be Lex Williams in the lead, trying to go up to that 13:37 mark. We'll have to run a 2:04 last 800, so that might be tough. But it's still Williams and it's still Connor. Don't forget about the Duke athlete either. That's Sean Thompson starting to make a move up on the side of Parrish there.
Lex Williams ran 13:47 back in 2008 when he was a Michigan Wolverine. So we'll see if he goes under that 13:47 mark.
Oh, I think he might. It's going to be close, but I think he can. And they're going to have 2 laps to go here when they cross the line. 2 to go. 2 laps to go for Lex Williams and Reed Connor. The strain is on their face. This is where the race really starts to get intense. Between Williams and Connor and Parrish and Curtin. But don't forget about Thompson either of Duke. He's moved up well throughout this entire race. 500 to go. Let's see if Connor can make a move on Williams' shoulder. So far, he's held him off. 400 left to go. 400 meters.
Sean Thompson of Duke. 13:58 PB. That's going down.
So 1 lap to go for Reed Connor. He's assumed the lead at the bell. Let's see what he can do. There's going to be a kicker's race here. Watch out, kick of the week, we could have it. Curtin still trailing. It looks like Williams is gone.
Reed Connor, Thomas Curtin.
It's Connor and Curtin battling, but don't forget about the hip 4 there. That's Kevin Lewis of Iowa. 150 meters left to go for Reed Connor. Can he win this for the second consecutive year? It's going to be a battle here between Curtin and Connor. Who's it going to be? Curtin's making the move on the outside.
Thomas
Can he beat the professional? What a kick! He's driving for home. It's Thomas Curtin. Who are you, Thomas Curtin? What are you doing beating these professionals? Dominating performance out of Thomas Curtin, taking the victory. Totally unexpected out of him. 13:38.56 on the clock.
That time puts him at number 2 in the NCAA right now, just ahead of Parker Stinson from Oregon, just behind Eric Jenkins of Oregon. Thomas Curtin, Virginia Tech.
So Curtin takes the victory in 13:38, followed by Reed Connor in second, 13:39. Rounding out the top 3, Mark Parrish of Florida in 13:41. Wow, Thomas Curtin, what a performance out of him. Not exactly what we expected out of the Hokie, but he takes the victory, probably one of the biggest victories of his career. So we're going to see if we can get some interviews with some of these athletes. It was an outstanding battle there.
That's right. Thomas Curtin of Virginia Tech. Like I said, that's going to put him at number 2 in the NCAA right now. Outstanding mark. As you see on your screen, John Mascari finishing 9th, 13:54. So not maybe not that NCAA mark that he was hoping, but that's a definite PR for the Indiana State runner. Mark Parrish, 13:41.87. That's going to put him at number 4 in the NCAA right now. Kevin Lewis of Iowa, 13:43. That's going to put him around 5 in the NCAA right now. So 2 top 6 performances in the NCAA, some outstanding marks